All right, welcome back, William Clark. I forgot to complete the last 8 questions on my assignment. I need you to come down and finish these questions here. Okay, the first question I had for you was, so what were the protests like during the 60s?
There was a lot of protests during the 60s due to the Vietnam Wars. There was a lot of race riots. There was a lot of stuff going on back in that time. Uh, Again, like I said, the Vietnam War especially was a big one. The race riots were a big one. There was a lot of unrest in the United States at that time, especially in the bigger cities.
Okay, so what was the history like in the 60s? I mean, I'm doing history, so.
Well, the history, again, with the riots, you had the
No,
naturally.
I mean, like for you, what was the history? What kind of history did you study?
Well, the history itself, it was kind of hard because uh, you had a lot going on. You had the landing of the astronauts on the moon. You had the race riots. You had just so much stuff going
Just
on at
everything
that
was
time.
going on. Okay, so do you remember the events involving Charles Manson?
Yeah, I remember that. That was specifically on TV. That was an every night thing on the TV for a while, where there was the slaughter of a movie star and several of her friends that happened at that time. It was actually a big event. It was a national type thing.
Okay, so do you remember Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech?
Again, yes, I remember him on TV till this day, speaking about. Uh, I guess it was the again. It had to do with the races. I guess it had to do with where he gave the speech about it. Someday he believed that all little white boys and white girls and black boys and black girls would be able to play together as one, and not have the dissent and stuff between the races.
Okay. Do you remember Star Trek's first time on TV?
I don't remember the first time on TV, but during the '70s, that was one of my big things. I used to watch it all the time with Captain Kirk and Spock, and they were the things. I don't like the ones today, but they were definitely the thing for me at that time.
I used to watch that too. So where were you when Armstrong landed on the moon?
Actually, when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, I was in Southeast Asia in the jungle in Vietnam. I was in the war at that time. I was fighting a war.
Okay. So what do you know about Woodstock? I guess probably not much if that was probably around the same time.
Again, I learned what I heard from the news, which was several weeks old that we got at that time. There was no computers or internet or anything like that. So whatever we got and whatever the states got from us was several weeks old already because everything was on canister film, real film. So it was like Neil Armstrong landing on the moon, man, that was a big thing. But I remember when he landed on the moon. I remember looking at the broadcast on it when I got a chance to see it.
Okay, well, what do you know about the USS Pueblo?
USS Pueblo, actually, I know personally, I know an individual, Francis Ginther, his name was, who was a, uh, a sailor on that ship who was actually captured. He was actually in a POW camp in North Korea when they took over the Pueblo, and Francis became where I was a police officer for 24 years. Actually, he became one of our councilmen. Plus, me being a lifetime member of the VFW, we had several encounters and goings on where he gave speeches and stuff and elaborated on his captivity and what went on.
Wow. I appreciate your time, William.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank
yours.
you.